When I took on the IoT project, I knew the landscape. A large, state-owned enterprise, heavy systems, legacy processes, and a mission that mattered: digitize critical infrastructure, modernize workflows, and connect field data to decision-making. I was brought in as a project leader. On paper, that meant responsibility. In practice, it meant walking into a structure that hadn't yet caught up with the complexity of the transformation it had commissioned. Here's the irony. The business leaders, my clients, were sharp. They understood the stakes. Some had MBAs, others had been on international assignments. These were smart people, driven, clear-eyed, pragmatic. But the ICT side, it was stuck in a different era. Not out of laziness, out of habit. Many had been there for decades. Promotions came by seniority, not evolution. The tech moved forward, but the delivery mindset stayed behind. One of the first things I noticed, I could assign people to my project, but I couldn't approve their timesheets. I raised it with the PMO. Politely, I said, if I'm responsible for the outcome, shouldn't I be able to confirm where the hours are going? The answer? Good project leaders shouldn't need that kind of control. They meant it as a compliment, but it wasn't. It was a symptom. In modern delivery environments, clarity is not a luxury. It's a necessity. I've worked in high-pressure zones where lives depended on the data. There, leadership and accountability were tight. Here, they were spread across a fog of goodwill. It wasn't sabotage, it was culture. A system optimized for not rocking the boat. I didn't force the issue. I've learned that in these environments, pushing too hard gets you pushed aside. So I paced myself. I organized governance that respected the system's tempo. Steering committees every 2 months, not monthly. I structured check-ins, but I let people breathe. With one of the technical leads, who had been part of the project from the start, I took a calm approach. I offered support. I said, you don't need to report to me, but I'd like us to talk every week. No pressure, just context. I explained where I was coming from. I told her, we promised our steering committee a plan and visible progress by May. That's not my deadline, it's ours. She looked at me and said, I can deliver, I will deliver. So I took her at her word, and I stepped back. Sometimes leadership is about movement. Sometimes it's about waiting. You let the system reveal whether it wants to rise to the challenge. May is coming. The steering committee will ask what we delivered, what we learned, whether we are ready for the next phase. I've been here before. I know the signs. Sometimes systems deliver, sometimes they delay, and sometimes they fail quietly, not through drama, but through drift. Last year, this same project missed its chance. The timelines were unclear, the vendor was weak, and internal teams weren't aligned. This time, the vendor is still shaky, but the business is more present, and I've been careful. I've structured things, built a trail, let people own their words. If we succeed, it won't be because I pushed. It'll be because we walked together, at a pace that matched the terrain. If we fail, I'll know I did my part, without panic, without ego. Because in a system like this, you don't always get the summit. But if you listen closely, and you move wisely, you learn how to climb without losing your footing, or your integrity. Climbing the mountain. Reflections on leading change without control.